What has it been, 3 weeks?
Yeah, I'd say, what was it, January 24th was, no, it's only been a couple weeks.
Okay,
You know?
2 weeks out.
2 weeks out,
How
yeah.
you doing?
2 weeks out, man, I'm already itching to ride, I'd say, you know. I got my hands in cast, my leg here. You can see how they just pulled the staples out. Got a plate in there. But they said I could ride, you know, 2 months out, so I'm looking at another probably month to 6 weeks until I'm riding, I'd say.
Yeah.
You know, this is my biggest injury. I don't know. It's hard to say, but, you know, I've broken bones here and there, but nothing all at once. In my head, you know, it's like I want to ride, I want to come back, but who knows what's going to happen once I get on a dirt bike. I'm sure it's I'll be a little timid, but it's just a matter of time, be a couple months.
Seems like every time I get hurt real bad, I'm like, oh, dirt bikes, I
Yeah.
can't ride no more. Was there a point when you said that?
I think at the time I crashed and was sliding on the ice and my hip was clunking and they were strapping me on the stretcher and they were pulling on my leg and it was like an unbearable pain, like a pain that I've never felt. And that's when it kind of clicked in my head and I kind of looked up where I was at thinking, well, what am I doing? And this is, like, I almost died. Like, I just almost died right now. And then you start thinking, who really cares? Do they really care that I just did that? And you start tripping out a little bit. For about a half hour to an hour before I went into surgery, I was thinking, man, what am I doing? But to tell you the truth, they had me in surgery within 45 minutes, bolted back together, and by the time I got out of surgery, I was ready. I was in the back of my head. I mean, how long can I ride? How long till I can ride again? And that was you know, for about an hour, I'd say I had doubts, you know, if that. But once I woke up, I was just asking the doctor, man, how long until I can ride again? You know, that's my first question. And it's always in your head, I'm getting older, and, you know, is this going to be injury going to take me out? You know, the way I look at it is I grew up racing and grew up with a lot of challenges. I had to overcome a lot of obstacles coming from Nebraska and racing as a privateer. The way I look at this is just another challenge, another goal. I have another, you know, my goal is to come back and get right back to the top. And, you know, that's the way I look at it. I don't look at it as a setback, as an injury that's going to take me out. It's just going to be another challenge, I guess.
So what went through your head in there? At what point did you know what was going wrong?
Basically, right from the get-go, I wasn't totally confident because the jumps were built really bad. Like, the lips were really, just weren't built right. And, you know, they don't really want to hear it. The organizers don't want to hear that the jumps are built wrong. So I get there, you know, I try to say what I have to say. No one really cares. And so right from the get-go, I was a little iffy on it. And, you know, I was like, you know what? Just go for it. You'll be all right. Worst case scenario, you're going to slide out of it. So I line up for the jump. I was just in my head, I was like, you're going to stick it. You're going to stick it. And I just went for it. Did all the motions right. About halfway through, the bike was coming around, but really slow. And then the front wheel was too high, and I was looking at the ground, and the front end wasn't coming around. And usually it's coasting in at this point. About 3/4 of the way through the trick, it coasts itself in, and it wasn't there. And I was thinking, all right, you're gonna land on your back with the bike on you, or you're gonna get away from it. And so I had to just get away from it. You know, 3/4 of the way through the trick, I got away, spun around. I was over jumping the landing, which really sucked because I didn't really hit a lot of tranny. So I fell from probably, I'd say, about 40 feet down onto the ice, and it just popped, you know, popped my femur and my wrist, and I just felt it like that. I mean, it was like, boom, and I knew it was broken, and I just looked at my arms, and they were like S-turns, and I was like, man, this sucks, but that's the price you pay, you know. I was going for a move that was going to pretty much set the bar to where no one could touch it. You know, it wasn't about backflipping and battling with all those other guys. I set my mind before I even went there. I woke up one morning and was talking to Feist. I was like, you know what, I'm sick of battling with these guys. I'm going to go and set the bar so high that they're scratching their heads going, oh my God, I can't believe you just did that. And that's what my plan was, and this is the price you pay for moves like that, you know? That's what happened. I just got hurt seriously bad, and that's just what happens.
So what was more nerve-wracking, getting ready to do that on the ice or the first one at the X Games?
Man, I would have to say it's two different types of feelings, but they're both really nerve-wracking. I would say the one man, almost the one at X Games was more nerve-wracking because I'd never done it before, and I didn't know what was going to happen. The one I honestly thought at Winter X I was going to pull it. I honestly, in my head, was pretty confident I was going to stick it. I knew the things. I knew my bike was running slow and the jump was terrible, but I had a feeling like in my head that I was going to make it. Otherwise, I would have never tried it. So I'd say Summer X Games was scarier because I didn't know what the hell was going to happen. And just kind of threw it out there.
So in the time between Summer X and Winter X, I know you said you did a bunch of twists into the foam pit. Had you done any more on dirt since then?
You know what? I've never did another 360 on dirt since Summer X, just because the lack of competitions and there's really nothing going on. And to tell you the truth, our sports get into those moves that are so gnarly that they're moves you don't just go and do every day. I mean, they're just moves you just don't go and try every day because the risk factor is so high. And I'm sure one day that trick will be mastered, but right now it isn't. And until that day, I mean, I'm saving it for competitions, and I have too many more important things in my life right now to do besides, you know, risk being hurt every time I ride. So I'd save those risks for the big events.
So I always wondered this when people have two casts.
Yep, I'd say basically I just got married a couple months ago, and this is where it pays off. I would say, you know, people say, "Oh man, you're getting married," whatever. You know, tell you the truth, that's right now that was probably the best thing I could have ever done.